Okay, there are a few. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so there are a few who haven't attended. But that's, I think, a small number. I think most of you have attended, right? Yeah, yeah. Great. Great. Okay, so I wish this was more interactive in terms of, if there was a small number, I could have asked you all to share. But I hope after the last session that we had with each other, you got a little bit more clarity on how to tackle interviews, right? That's the hope. Today, it's going to get further more clearer because some of the elements that we spoke about in the interview preparation workshop or session, we're going to again go deeper into some of those areas. So my effort is towards bringing more clarity to your entire process of job search or hunting for the ideal job, whatever it might be that you're looking for. The idea is that you'll get more clarity on that front. Now, all of you, there are two things I want you to ensure that you go through. One, I'm sure Mentorcard team has my recording from last time. So those of you who haven't seen the session, after the session today, please go ahead and seek to see that video also, because that video was on interview preparation. The second thing is, last time I spoke about the mentorship program, where we speak about goal setting, SWOT analysis. And the reason I'm again referring to it is because a lot of things that you will discover in that course around your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, etc., that awareness, especially on the strengths front, will be really helpful to you even preparing your resume or preparing for your interview. Is that cool? Will everybody ensure they go through these two things, the video and the workshop and the program, mentorship program?
Ma'am, can I interrupt in between?
Yes, please. Yes, Harsh.
Actually, ma'am, we have prepared our one platform where they can make their CV for free. So after your session, when they get understanding about these important topics,
Yeah.
they can go and make their CV over there and download it for free.
Perfect.
So Bhavya from my team, she will be sharing the links in the
I can see that. I can see that. That is all right. Perfectly fine. I'm just talking about the interview
yeah, we will share it on Monday.
Some of them are saying they haven't. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Yeah. Great. No, this is a helpful tool. But jo main cover karungi will be around what do you put into the content of it. Right? Am I aligned to that, Harsh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, very right.
Yeah. So if there is any misalignment because I've not necessarily seen that platform, I would then I'll we'll find ways to connect it, but most of it will going to be allowed. Yes, who was that? Who was trying to speak now?
Mahavir. Just a small request, ma'am. In the bottom, you can see 3 dots. Please off the annotation for students. Like students use annotation tool in these like on the screen sometimes.
Oh, okay. Okay. How do I do that? I've never used annotation, so
bottom there are 3 dots.
Yeah. I can see 3 dots. Okay, I've done that. Yeah. I've done that. Okay. I hope that is. Yeah. Okay. So is that, can you see it's shut down? Its annotation has gone for everyone? Mahavir?
Yes, ma'am. Mine is gone.
Okay. Okay, so let's begin. So this is my, again, for those of you who were there last time, you already know who I am. But just for a quick snapshot, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Geet Vijan and I come with 14 years of corporate experience. Started my career with Godrej, went on and joined Times Group. After that, my last stint was with Reliance Industries. In Reliance Industries, I was heading their Human Resources Academy, which was to serve around 750 HR people that are part of the Reliance Industries organization. 2 years ago, I branched out on my own as a full-time career coach and a full-time consultant. And from the consulting perspective, I'm working with EY and a few other organizations because I step in as an assessor from time to time. So I'm utilizing my experience from HR and my experience of my own career journey in terms of whatever I'm going to share with you is a combination of all of it. All right. So let's begin. You have my LinkedIn profile anyways available here. You can reach out to me. Would love to connect with all of you. Okay, so the first question, what is a resume? The answer is very simple. It's a personal marketing document. Now, personal document, marketing document, matlab, it is going to talk about you, right? There's a common sense, hai na? Your resume is going to talk about you. What is the deeper purpose of a resume? I want to understand from all of you. Type whatever comes to mind. What is the purpose of a resume? It's a marketing document. That's a hint. Type in the chat box. What is the purpose? Let me put the question only here. What is the purpose of the resume? To introduce yourself. Okay. What else? I want people, there are how many? 108 people in this session. What's our USP? Okay. It's a type of document which shows our skills and experiences. Great. I want more inputs. Just 3 people have ideas out of 108 people. Resume sole purpose is to land you an interview. Good. It is our current profile. Okay. To know certain information, overall introduction of the candidate, personality of a person in a paper. Okay. Okay. Formal document, job applicant, it's life strategy. All of you are somewhere around it. Some of you are bang on point, but some of you are all around it. Okay. So should I tell you what the purpose is? One person actually said perfectly right. To get you an interview is the main purpose of the resume, right? Because it's your marketing document. It's like your marketing representative. Sales representative होता है ना, जो आपको call करके features बताता है, right? It's going to work like that. It's going to talk about who you are, what you're good at. In other words, try and ensure others get convinced that you're right for the job, so that you can be called for an interview. It doesn't get you a job, but it gets you called for an interview. It also showcases and highlights the relevant parts. Why am I talking about relevant? Because you always have to think from the hiring manager's perspective. I'm going to keep repeating this statement so that it goes into your mind. When you are sending your resume to a particular job opening, you need to, number one, think about what is this hiring manager or what is this organization going to be looking for, and try to ensure you don't fake, you don't write false information, but you try to ensure that you are packaging your resume according to what they're looking for. And we'll talk about it in detail. Okay, don't worry, don't overthink right now. But it showcases the relevant parts of your background that provide evidence that you have what the organization is looking for. Now, my next question is, what a resume is not. Okay. If anybody has any idea, you can type in it. Otherwise, I'm going to anyways cover it. What a resume is not. Okay, let me share. It is not a summary of your entire life, which is why I said, no, some of you are there, some of you are not there. It is not, brilliant, Sakshi. It is not your autobiography, because it is not a generic declaration of your achievements, successes. It is for a particular purpose, and that purpose has to be understood. तो जो भी आपने लाइफ में किया है वो सब आपने नहीं डाल देना. You have to be mindful about what you put in your resume. The second thing, it is not a generic document that can be सब जगह भेजते जाओ. थोड़ा सा पढ़ाई लिखाई has to be done. थोड़ा सा reading has to be done before you send it out. Again, we'll talk about it in detail, don't worry. And the third one is again in tandem, not a one size fits all resume. Okay. And let's now understand further what elements build a good resume. Is everybody ready with that? Yes, no, are you all there? Are you all not there? Now we have 111 people. I love the number 111 people in the group. Awesome. Yes. That day there was so much action. Today there's hardly any action. Yeah, just give me a moment. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So now, yes. I love that I was tackling my personal issue and everybody's saying yes, brilliant. Thank you so much. So now what are the basic elements of the resume? Now this is the structure of a resume, okay? Skeleton framework, और हम इसको fill कैसे करना है वो हम discover करेंगे आज. So the first thing, you can take a screenshot of this if you want. You will maybe get a recording of this, whatever. Basically, you always start your resume with the name. Follow it up with your mobile number. Follow it up with email address and your LinkedIn profile. तो LinkedIn profile अगर नहीं बनी हुई है तो आपने बनानी है, ठीक है? Then after that comes your career summary, job summary. Under the summary itself, there will be key skills, competencies, whatever you might want to call. So summary section is like an introduction. जैसे सबने किसी ने बोला था ना, resume is an introduction, नहीं. Summary section is an introduction where you introduce yourself a little bit so that the interest of the person who's reading the resume is piqued. ताकि then he will read further. And again, I'll share some stats with you. A lot of people don't even go through the entire resume and they reject the resume. So summary section is an important part. Mahadeswami, I'm not able to understand what you mean for freshers. You need to write the whole question for me to understand. So after summary comes your professional experience. अब professional experience freshers के case में जरूरी नहीं है बहुत लंबा चौड़ा हो, लेकिन आपने जो भी projects किए हैं, internships किए हैं, जो भी experiences हैं जो आपको अच्छी तरह से समझा पाए सामने वाले को कि what is your experience, you have to include whatever is possible. Ma'am, those who switching career from non-IT to IT domain, I'm not going to get into specific questions right now because I'm trying to cover something. At the end of the session, if you don't get your answers, then you can ask me these questions, okay? I have a lot of content to be covered. Mahadeswami, I'm understanding now what you're saying. So we'll talk about all of that, okay? Yeah. So professional experience ke andar aata hai accomplishments, and then you talk about your educational qualifications, professional development, technical skills, any associations that you're affiliated with, any NGOs you want to work with, and then any optional information. Now in this structure, what is it that is not there that most of you have in your resume right now, if you have a resume? What is not here? I want to quickly understand. I want to bust certain myths before we move forward. कोई ऐसी चीज दिख रही है जो आपके रेज्यूमे में है लेकिन यहाँ पे नहीं है? Photo, okay. What else? Address, okay. What else? Ballpark photo and address ही रहेगा. Personal information, hobby, self declaration, LinkedIn ID है, Venkat top पे ही है. LinkedIn ID is there. Goals, no. Goals, this is the resume. ये again आपका goal statement नहीं है. This is a resume which has to talk about you, what you have done, not about what you're going to do in your life. That's why self declarations about I am a keen learner who intends to is not helpful. And again, I'll talk about it. Now, secondly, photo क्यों नहीं है? Photos have a chances of creating. So projects and all will cover, awards will cover, achievements will cover. Photos tend to have that scope of creating a bias. So I personally never recommend putting photos. But if somebody wants to put their own photo, professional photo, they can put it, okay? The second thing that they definitely don't recommend putting is your entire ghar ka address or your entire family history. Many people do that. It is not relevant. It's just occupying space. Agar aapko address dalna, you can write Mumbai, Delhi, you know, the location. Don't put the entire address, okay? It's just not really going to help you, okay? So I hope this is clear. That these are the essential elements of a resume. Munna, I'm going to answer all your questions at the end. Please do not get specific questions into the conversation. I won't be able to answer your specific questions. I'll answer everything at the end. We have some time for question and answer. Okay. So can I move forward? Is this clear? Yes, no. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Moving forward. 1 second. I'm so sorry. But I cannot make. Now, let's understand how to create your resume. All right. First of all, what you're going to do is identify the key requirements of the role, of the job. And again, her element mein hum deep mein jayenge. So don't think I'm not covering anything. We'll talk about everything in detail. So the first thing we do is, while making your resumes, identify the key requirements of the job. Then we ensure that we have accomplishment statements ready, because we have multiple places that we can club our accomplishment statements into, not just in the resume, but also in the interview. So those of you who've seen the interview session with me last time, who were with me last time, will notice I spoke about this, that formulating your accomplishment statements is going to be covered in this session today. Now, when you go for your interview, you can use the same accomplishment statements to answer questions. The challenge होता है ना, लोग सोचते हैं मुझे याद कैसे रहेगा, आराम से याद रहेगा. आप बना रहे हो ना पेपर पे, you will be able to remember everything. The point is to take the effort to sit down and make these accomplishment statements. Okay. The next thing is, after identifying requirements and developing accomplishment statements, we move to professional summary section. And how do you actually make a summary section that is attractive enough for the reader to continue reading? That is a challenge, right? I told you. And the next one is populating the additional sections like work experience, qualifications, everything into the resume. And the last one is selecting a right format. We won't be going deep into this. I'll just be briefing about it at the end, but selecting it because you have a format already with you. All right. Now, identify the key requirements of the role. Now, why do we need to do this? First of all, हमें requirements of the role क्यों समझने हैं? Type quickly. What is the need, or why do we need to understand the key requirements of the role or the job? Now we have 121 people. My God, the number of people is increasing, but the number of people typing is reducing, so that we can understand what to do when we are on the job. Okay. Okay. I'm not saying you're wrong, Sukant, but you're jumping the gun, and I'm going to tell you how. What else? What else? According to requirement, we will make CV. Great. To know what you're applying for and the prerequisites required for it. Okay. So that we will be relevantly answer the interview. Okay. If we know, so we can answer the interview questions. Perfect. Simplify the hiring process to ensure they're perfect guy for the role, to understand. Okay. So Priyanshu said the right thing. While making the resume, you've not gone for the interview, right? Take a step back. तो आपने जब भी job का ad देखा, you read the job ad, you liked the job, you felt कि हाँ, I can apply. So you have somewhere in your mind identified कि हाँ, it is suitable to me. So suitability हो गया है. But after that, while making your resume, why are you going through the job description or the understanding requirements of the role further? You need to think like the hiring manager while sending out your resume. Okay. So when you're thinking like the hiring manager, you're getting to understand what will he want to see in the resume while shortlisting or rejecting it. And this is where I want to shake you all up. Most applicants spend less than 50 seconds reading the job description. जो आता है ना job requirements का ad, चाहे LinkedIn पे आता है, नौकरी पे आता है. Most applicants don't spend more than 50 seconds before they apply, and hence their resume is not relevantly made for the job, and that is why most of the times recruiters are rejecting resumes because they can't see that alignment. तो जब आपको यही नहीं पता कि recruiter को क्या चाहिए, आप recruiter के हिसाब से resume बना नहीं गए, हर बार बनाना नहीं पड़ता, customize करना पड़ता है. But आप resume recruiter के हिसाब से you're not highlighting what he's looking for, automatically rejection will happen. He doesn't know what you're capable of, right? You have to showcase that you're capable to do the job. You have the job description, so analyze करना बहुत जरूरी है, because that analysis tells you what should I put in my resume. Is that clear to everyone? उसके बाद इंटरव्यू प्रेपरेशन का क्वेश्चन आता है, उसके बाद everything. So the first step in the process is make the resume according to what the job demands, so that you have that opportunity to go in front of the recruiter, right? Moving forward. Now, I think my, yeah, step one, step one, my animation went off. So now how do you actually identify? Let's do a two-step analysis. Sabse pehle, while going through the job description, there are multiple places the requirements could be mentioned. Sometimes resumes have a successful candidate will do XYZ. Successful candidate will know technology, have experience in digital domain, etc., etc. Right? Multiple things is possible. I'm so sorry. Just give me a moment. I'm so sorry. This personal issue. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Let's go back to where I was. So the first step is, आप जब analyze कर रहे हो अपना job description, आपने सबसे पहले ढूंढना है कि कहाँ पे requirements को डाला गया है. सबसे पहला, a successful candidate will के अंदर हो सकता है. Then clearly they write looking for skills XYZ. Technical हो सकती requirements. Some of you all were talking about the mechanical requirements, etc., etc. They're going to very specifically write, we need Excel, we need macros, we need Python, we need Power BI, we need on logistics side from SCM students, we are looking for a particular software, we're looking for experience in logistics, inventory management. They're going to sometimes write specifically, sometimes ghuma phira ke. It could come under the fact key responsibilities to be handled, experienced in. So what you have to do at the point of once you have the job description in your hand is maybe make a note on a particular page. If you really want that job, you really want to send your resume for that job, just make a note somewhere to identify what are the critical things and ensure to incorporate the language. Okay, and I'll show you an example where you'll understand how to do that match of language and everything. So ensure that you make a list. After you made the list, then you have to sit down to move to step 2, where you incorporate what you know into the resume. So after reading the job description, look at your own existing resume. तो अगर आपका already है, तो आपने जो मैं आज share कर रही हूँ, उस process से उसको revise करना है. But उस एक बार resume बनने के बाद, once you have your resume ready, each time you're sending your resume to a job opening, do the step 1 and then move to step 2, where you're only looking at customizing it. You're not making it from scratch. So after reading the job description, look at your own resume as if you are the hiring manager and see, कुछ दिख रहा है कि कुछ नहीं दिख रहा है. Okay. After that, look at the elements that are important to the company based on the list you've made and try to incorporate. I'll give you a very simple example. Sometimes people write in the resume, I'm a BCom or I'm a BE or I'm a BEIT. The organization has written looking for bachelors of commerce. Now, I'm not saying every time language के basis पे reject होगा, but language के basis पे अगर आप BE के बजाय BCom, BE के बजाय Bachelor of Engineering लिखते हो, या BCom के बजाय you're writing Bachelor of Commerce, you're using professional language. Secondly, you're creating again that alignment. Now let's move on and identify furthermore कि skills और कौन से होते हैं. So let me share an example with you ताकि आपको समझ में आए मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ. Now here, can everybody see these two documents? Yes, no? Ma'am, हम resume में अगर relevant technical tools mention करेंगे, if we don't know the tools. Okay, Shivansh, I said in the beginning, I'm not asking you to write wrong information. Okay, do not write wrong information, but ensure what you know and what skills you have. And if the recruiter is looking for it, please ensure to include all of that. Okay, so this, you know what I'll do? I'll send this slide to you separately. But अगर मैं यहाँ पे आपको ये वाले elements दिखाती हूँ, all the reds, okay? So there is term customer service written over here. Now, let's say this person is a sales guy and he has done some customer relationship management. When customer service is clearly written and the person does not use the language that the organization has used, it's not going to be easy. I'm sorry, I can't make it clearer because this is an image. I can't zoom also, I'm sorry, but I can send it to you later. So go through it, but I'll share with you what I'm going to talk about. So you'll understand what I'm saying. Is that okay? Is that okay? All right. So यहाँ पे जैसे मैंने बोला customer service लिखा हुआ है. There's another thing, utilizing new technologies. Some of you may be learning new technologies off and on. लेकिन क्या है, क्योंकि मैं IT का नहीं हूं ना, so I don't need to talk about it. Let's say I'm from logistics or I'm from human resources. I don't need to talk about technology. But job description में clearly लिखा हुआ है, and this is a staff accountant, financial team का है, accountant का job description है, इसमें लिखा हुआ है utilizes new technologies. Just because I'm from finance and I don't do technology, I'm not going to talk about it because I don't think it is relevant. So I होगा ना सब कुछ. You getting me? सब कुछ I के point of view से होगा. Organization के point of view से understand what are they looking to understand. कि do I have technology exposure? So I have worked on PowerPoints. I have worked on Excel. I have worked on, let's say, some softwares. Can I bring that element here to showcase that I do understand technology? I do have that capability to work on new technology. You getting me? आपके रेज्यूमे में शायद से आपने कहीं पे मेंशन नहीं किया, लेकिन जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन को देख के आपको समझ में आना चाहिए कि अच्छा ये उनको चाहिए, so how can I bring this element? Again, I'm not saying write something that is not true. Do not do that. But जो सच है वो भी नहीं लिखोगे, so that's not going to serve you, ना? Right? Bachelors का मैंने आपसे शेयर किया, right? BCom, BE, full form लिखो. Write the language that they are looking for. And there are multiple other examples. So I'll give you one more example. They've written year-end closure. My language, my way of writing is annual closure. मैं annually ये काम करती हूँ. They've used year-end closure. This is all softer elements you need to understand. So technically, what you bring to the table, you have to put in your resume, especially what they're looking for. Softer elements could be bring about. Okay, do a language match. That is where the interviewer, when he's reading your resume, अरे हाँ, इसमें तो ये भी है, ये भी है, ये भी है. All that will start happening. Am I making sense? Right, ma'am? जो आता है, he will do. Okay, awesome. Great, great, great. Thank you, Sakshi, Himanshu. Y'all are going to get award from me for good participation. Now, the first assignment that I would ask y'all to take back is written here. Take one or more JDs from Naukri.com या फिर आप Times Job पे जाओ, जहां पे भी आप regular job applications के लिए जाते हो या जाने वाले हो. Go to one of those websites and search for your ideal type of a job. SCM wale, whatever you're looking for in your career, whether it is logistics, inventory management, IT wale, again, what type of a job are you looking for? Search for a job description that is ideally what you would like to apply for, even if it is old, doesn't matter. Take it and practice this identification of requirements, skills that they will be looking for, what kind of competencies they will be looking for, softer competencies and technical and hard competencies. Okay, and once we go to summary section, I'll elaborate on what is soft and hard. So what is soft and technical, all right? But try to make a list of everything just for practice. And it's not just about practice. आप पहली बार जब resume बना रहे हो, make it your starting point. Download job description, 1 or maybe 2, and analyze, identify what they're looking for, come back to your own resume background and find alignment. Don't fake, don't write wrong things, write what is there, okay? Rukmini will take all the questions at the end. Just make a note of all your questions and we'll answer everything. Deepak, don't use this language. It's a workshop. It's a professional workshop, okay? I will appreciate if you don't use this language. मैं बहुत फेंकता हूँ, etc. See, this is what matters. Okay, how you are in various aspects of your life. Anybody could be making an impression about you. Don't shift your position like that. Okay, your language is very important. Okay, next one, accomplishment statements. Now, accomplishment statements की importance के बारे में I spoke a lot last time. मैंने बहुत बोला था last time. Okay, but so those of you who were there last time, or maybe who are there here today, write quickly what according to you is the importance of accomplishment statements. Type. Why do you think accomplishment statements will be helpful while making your resume or while going for an interview? And I've spoken extensively about it. Deepak, this is a resume workshop. Writing emails we'll talk about later. Okay. Satish, cloud computing in your resume. At the end, form your question properly so I understand what you're saying and I'll answer the question. Okay. Okay. Did everybody understand my question now? Why is accomplishment important? To make a good impression about yourself. Perfect. Highlight achievement. Yes, highlight achievement. Serve as proof of the value you brought to a role or experience. Brilliant. Himanshu, light. I don't know what light is. Okay. I want others. There are 130 people. Every time I look at the number of participants, it increases, but the number of people writing is very low. They allow you to highlight your achievements that are most relevant to the position you're seeking. Superb, Abhish. You were there last time, I remember. So I want more and more people to please participate so I understand what you all are understanding. Okay. And I also want to understand what your starting point is so that I can make a shift accordingly. So when I'm asking a question, please type Hall of Fame of your skills. That's not true. To give evidence of our skills, we mentioned in the CV. Okay. Things you can't written on your CV. Things you're going to write in your CV only, Pranshu. Everything is about writing a CV today. Okay. So now, some of you said it brilliantly. Accomplishments provide evidence of relevant experiences and suitability for the said role. Perfect. Rishabh, right? What results you have generated in the past. So multiple results, multiple elements are in those. So the first thing is very clear. Accomplishments provide evidence of relevant experience and your suitability for the role. And how ke baare mein hum baad mein baat karenge. An accomplishment statement helps you describe how you acted in certain situations and the results that your actions produced. Right, Rishabh? Your results has come in already. What was the outcome that or what was the impact that you were able to achieve? Aap communicate kar rahe ho hiring manager se, right? Next, these accomplishment statements are also useful ammunition to deal with competency-based interviews. ये तो हम बात कर चुके हैं last time. अगर आप accomplishment statements बना दोगे, automatically you will be able to use them efficiently. They are the difference between a job description and an impactful resume. Okay. Now, when you look at a job description, simplest काम हो सकता है उसको लो अपने resume पे चिपका दो, right? Copy, paste. But that's not what the hiring manager will want to see. It's not about what you know. It's about what you have done. What kind of experience do you carry with yourself? Even if you're a fresher, are you somebody who's experimented, tried different things, learned from experiences, right? So that is what is the difference between a job description and an impactful resume. An impactful resume has accomplishment statements. A job description is a declaration of requirements. I hope I'm clear. Yeah? Yes, no. I'm going to read these long statements at the end. So copy and paste somewhere. I cannot read while I'm presenting. I'll read all of your questions at the end. But shorter sentences I can quickly read. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Finally, identifying and formulating accomplishment statements gives you more information on what your strengths are. Now, when you began the last time, the workshop that we did for interview, I spoke about knowing your strengths is very important. If you are confused about what your strengths are, what you can do is very simply first begin with accomplishment statements. आप accomplishment statements बनाने लगोगे, बनाने के बाद उसको देखो और समझो what did I do or what is there within me, what strength is there within me that enabled me to achieve this, get this award or do this kind of a delivery in short period of time, earn this much money for this particular business, whatever is your achievement. It really has the scope to tell you about what your strengths are. All right. So this is why we work on accomplishment statements. Now, a quick snapshot of the framework of accomplishment statements is STAR. So again, those of you who were there in the last workshop know about it, but again, I'll talk about it now. STAR framework is very simple. Situation, you always begin with an event. Think of a time whenever this happened. Pick up a situation, move to the task or the challenge that was in front of you that you had to deal with. Move to what actions did you take? And finally, what result or what outcome could you achieve? Okay. Every accomplishment statements will have these three elements, particularly task, action, and result. Okay. And let's see how. Now, everybody, please pay attention. I want everybody to make a note of what I'm sharing. The framework to make your accomplishment statements is very simple. We start with STAR, right? We start with S, situation. So these are some examples that you could, for freshers, these are some examples you could pick up on. And experienced logon ke paas to automatically there should be more situations where you have done something. You've met an objective. You've met a expectation of your manager or your quarterly goals, sales revenue, number of calls, process revision, बहुत सारे options, like cost reduction. But freshers के लिए, these are some of the examples. Think of a time when you've made a difference in your school or your community. College festivals में आपने part लिया, you organized a blood donation camp along with other people, but you were a part of that kind of a process. You did something that helped your college or your institution or your team or your, if you're into sports, your club, save time. What actions, what process did you be, were you a part of any process you revised which helped save time or money? Received recognition or an award for a job well done. Organized an event which had a successful outcome, जैसे मैंने बोला था last time. College festivals is a beautiful example. Blood donation drive type of things, NGO events, any kind of a drive organized by you. Maybe you're a part of your placement committee. Any kind of an example can do. Because you are actively doing something, what have you learned out of it has to be taken out. So these are some things that you have to think about. A situation, pick up a situation where you've done something. Then, अब उसको dissect करना है, उसको analyze करना है. What was the challenge in that situation? Challenge मतलब हर बार दुविधा नहीं होगा. It's not always going to be challenge in the sense some dire situation of do or die. It could be some goal that had to be met with, right? What was the problem? What was the issue that you were trying to solve? What was the deliverable that you were trying to achieve? So identify that, write that very clearly against task or C. इसको हम कार भी बोलते हैं. इस framework को कार framework भी बोलते हैं. But forget about that. So under creating the statement based on the situation, write the task. The second thing is what action did you take? Very important. This is where you're going to be able to talk about your actions. What did you do? See, कई बार interview में भी हम generic हो जाते हैं. हम हवा में बातें करते हैं. I always do this. Always is fine. But if you get specific, you have the capability to convince the person that yes, you have done this. Okay. So pick up what actions did you do? What did you do in response to the problem? What skills, what techniques, what tools did you use to deal with the challenge? आप में से कई लोग IT के हैं, right? Many of you are from IT. What tool did you use to revise the process or reduce the cost or reduce the amount of time needed? maybe आपके college में, आपके course में जो आप projects कर रहे हो in SCM or in IT, within those courses itself, within those projects itself, what tools are you using? It could be a simple tool on Excel sheet, doesn't matter. But talk about the how, the action. And the last one is, what was the result? What did you do? How much time did you save? How much money did you save? How many people did you reach? Right? Try to be quantifiable. Qualitative results is also all right. Right? I was able to improve staff morale. Not quantifiable, but quality में समझ में आ जाता है. But if it is quantifiable, for example, the productivity improved, the performance went up, cost reduction तो मैं बोल ही गई हूँ बार-बार. So these are all quantifiable results. Okay. So while making your statement, you start with situation, as I said, move on to identifying what the task was, what the action you took, and finally, what was the result. Now, let's get into making the actual accomplishment statements ka bank. At the beginning of your journey of making your resume, I want you to sit down and take a long piece of paper or an Excel sheet and think of every situation and every possible action that you have ever taken, every achievement or accomplishment that you've ever had, and make an accomplishment bank. When this bank is ready, bank matlab bank, जैसे RBI है वैसा bank, okay? Once this bank is ready, any job description that comes in front of you, you will be able to have some ready ideas to think of. Am I making sense? It's like, मुझे पता है मेरी कितनी qualifications है, right? मेरे पास मेरा ग्रेजुएशन है, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन है, उसके बाद मैंने 3-4 सर्टिफिकेशन किया, मेरे को पता है ये 5 चीजें हैं मेरे पास, तो जो रिक्वायरमेंट आएगी उसके हिसाब से मैं प्लग कर सकती हूँ. Similarly, accomplishment statements का बैंक होना will be really helpful to all of you from multiple perspectives. Confidence building, because you know what you're talking about. Secondly, plug and play in a resume and plug and play in an interview. Okay. So ensure that you sit down and make this accomplishments bank. Now, I'm going to leave with, I'm posting it here, so all of you can copy it right now itself. Every accomplishment statement that you make has to start with an action verb. And I'll show you the examples in the next slide. Don't go on this link right now. Copy and paste it somewhere. It's an idea around what kind of action verbs exist. Matlab, you do not start with, I did this, I achieved this. No. You start with, what did you do? Maintained, organized, delivered, revised, conceptualized, created, right? These are called action verbs. Matlab jo aapka action dikhata hai. Okay. Ensure you always make the hero of the sentence the action verb, because that is where the focus will go. Okay. And try variations. Am I clear? Am I making sense? Am I clear so far? We'll get into examples. So furthermore clear ho jayega. Don't worry, Sukha. Here are the example. There is one example. Okay, I'll show you second one after that. Now, this particular person is into client relations. Maintained positive client relations and dealt with conflict in a highly professional manner when contacting companies regarding overdue accounts and recovering outstanding debts. अगर यहाँ पे वो कितना outstanding debts भी डाल देता, would have been even more interesting. Okay, now let's analyze. इसको dissect करके देखते हैं. What was the task in the statement? There were overdue accounts and recovering of outstanding debts had to be done. Right? Challenge है, मुझे ये काम करना है, recovering करना है. Action, what did he do? This gentleman contacted companies in a highly professional manner. What was the result? He maintained positive client relations and dealt with conflict. You saw what kind of an example this is? Action verb, maintained. Result, positive client relationships and dealt with conflict. What was the challenge? Overdue accounts. What was the action he took? He contacted companies in a highly professional manner. Now let's take another example. Further simple ho jayega. Demonstrated initiative to develop a computerized database which saved 4 hours per week from previous method and increased office efficiency. Task and challenge. Needed a computerized database. ये challenge है उसके सामने, ये उसको काम दिया गया है. This is the work that has been given to him. That you have to make a computerized database because efficiency improvement has to be done. Action. He took initiative to develop a computerized database. अब computerized database उसने tool पे किया है, Excel पे किया है, उसने automate किया है. Right? Now again, this is an example. Automation is my word. If I use automation in my resume, when the job description wants computerization, I can use both. But try to prioritize definitely what is there in the job description, all right? So task, needed a computerized database to improve efficiency. Action, took initiative. Result, saved 4 hours per week. Again, quantifiable possible है तो जरूर करना चाहिए. अगर नहीं possible है, saved my time per week or whatever, you know, saved reduced the time taken by the team. Multiple ways you can do this, but what is the action verb? Demonstrated. So what have you done here? You've demonstrated initiative. Start with strong action verbs. These kind of simple accomplishment statements, and ये जो है ना आपको language hyphendu लग रहा है, you don't have to worry. Once you sit down and follow the approach I've shared with you, the STAR framework approach, this kind of a language will emerge. All right? Am I making sense? Am I clear? Yes? No? Yes? Any no? Awesome. I hope simple hai na? There's nothing complicated. Who said no? Let me just go. Whoever said no, I want to understand what is the confusion. Ashok, elaborate on no. What more do you need from me on this? I've tried to simplify it as much as possible. और examples जानबूझ के डाले हैं ताकि आपको relate करने में आसान होगा. ठीक है? Now, the second assignment for you is, I want you all, after your analysis is done of a sample JD, please sit down and make your accomplishment statement bank. All right? If you do not make your accomplishment statement bank, जब आप resume बनाओगे आप struggle करोगे क्योंकि आपके पास language ही नहीं गई, आपके पास raw material ही नहीं गएगा, right? So try and do that. Okay? I hope the fact that I've put these as assignments, you all are going to take it seriously and you're going to commit to me. Yes? Type yes and that you're committing to me, that you're going to do all of this. Yes, no, yes, no. What is it? Awesome. Because ये जो है ना, all of this is very practical things that will help you. These are not theoretical. ये ज्ञानबाजी नहीं है. Okay? Awesome. Now let's move to the next section. So Ashok, I'm not going to be able to help you with the network. What you can do is you can sit down and later review the video. Kirti, assignment 1 was analyze the job description. Pick a sample from Naukri and analyze it. So now the next section is professional summary. जहाँ पे अब हम आपके actual resume building पे आ गए. आपके नाम वगैरह के डालने के बाद what do you put in the resume? Now, what is the summary section? A summary section basically is something that ties together your experiences with the common theme. And what is the common theme? Always going to be relevance of what is the job description saying. For example, I have done multiple things in my career. I have done talent development, leadership development, managerial growth, process creation. लेकिन अगर एक पर्टिकुलर जेडी मेरे सामने है जो मुझे जिसके लिए अप्लाई करना है और मैं उन्होंने क्लियरली बोला है, they're looking for talent development. And in my summary section, I'm going all over the place talking about leadership, talking about process, etc. What is going to happen? What is going to happen is interest ही नहीं आएगा ना बंदे को. Who's reading? The hiring manager will be like, okay, she's done a lot, but she's not done what we are looking for. Okay, that is what common theme means. What is the objective statement compared to a summary statement? An objective statement is if you're just entering the workforce. तब क्या है, आपके पास experience बिल्कुल नहीं है, तो फिर आपको थोड़ा मेहनत करना पड़ेगा to talk about the future. But we are not going to only talk about the future. We are going to dig deep. Accomplishment bank statement case exercise में ही आपका experience हो जाएगा. Your experience that you're asking अभी 6 month experience is counted or not? It is, why not? whatever experience you have to find ways to articulate it clearly. तब आपका फायदा है 6 months का experience है, जो भी experience है, ठीक है. 6 months का experience है substantial experience. Pick out elements that will convey what you've done. ठीक है. I hope I'm clear, Abhish. Yes. Okay, moving forward. So now what is the goal of, अब मैंने summary में आपको नहीं पूछा why, क्योंकि मैं already बता चुकी थी, right? The importance of summary. So let's just summarize. What is the goal of the summary statement or the objective statement? Same hai. Number one, to ensure you communicate to the reader, the hiring manager, about your suitability and relevance for the said role. Secondly, you want to pique the interest of the reader. जैसे आप मूवी का ट्रेलर देख के मूवी देखने जाते हो ना, it is something like that. You want the interviewer or the hiring manager to go through your entire resume. You don't want him to reject you. That is why your summary section has to have the important things, and we'll talk about what are those important things. I'm just slightly behind time, so I'm going to not engage as much, although my habit is that, but I'll try not to. Okay. So now the first thing in the summary section that you need to be aware of is, it is right at the top. Before you talk about your education, your other elements. So आपके नाम के बाद आता है summary section, जिसके अंदर हम competencies, skills को उसी के अंदर highlight करते हैं. ठीक है? Now, what kind of content do you put in your summary section? A summary section is a summary of your experience, definitely, plus your knowledge, your skills, any competencies, any contributions that match the position that you're seeking. Again, I'm bringing the relevance bit. Okay. The second one is highlights your key strengths that relate to the position you are targeting. So यहाँ पे जो strengths की मैं बात कर रही थी, you need to know your strengths. Those also come. So not just your knowledge, skills, competencies, but also what you're good at. What is your USP? Somebody, in the beginning was asking why we need a resume. Somebody said it's going to be your USP. This is where we highlight your unique selling proposition. So Kant, obviously it should be truthful. You do not fake your resume. You will fail at your job if you get selected also. First of all, you'll fail at the interview only. If you write wrong stuff in your resume, you will miserably fail in the interview, and then you will fail at the job. Okay. And I've said this multiple times, do not fake information anywhere. The third element around the content of the resume is, after skills, competencies, and strengths, is use terminology or keywords from the job ad. ये तो मैं बोल के समझ, but I hope समझ में आया होगा. Okay. Now, what is the format of your summary? You can use paragraphs, or you can use one sentence with bullet points. For skills and competencies, it's totally up to you. Your language has to be impactful. Second one, it has to have a combination of, it can also have a combination of both, and it can also have only bullet points. But my personal recommendation is have one statement with specific bullet points, but totally up to you. आपको impact बनाना है, ठीक है? आपका जो communication style है, आप उसके हिसाब से कर सकते हो. So now let's construct your summary. जैसे मैंने accomplishment statements का आपको framework दिया था construction का, I'm leaving you with here also a way to construct your summary. What are the essential things that have to go into a summary section? Number one, who you are professionally. If you are somebody who has experience, then you can talk about your functional titles, you can talk about your level, so that the person gets to know who you are, your functional experience and your industry experience. The second one is technical or functional skills. यहाँ पे जो आप कोर्स कर रहे हो, SCM का कोर्स कर रहे हो, IT का कोर्स कर रहे हो, जो भी कोर्स कर रहे हो, that course could come in because you're gathering new skills in the projects that you are doing, in the course, any projects you're doing outside, anything else. So technical knowledge को दिखाने के लिए, this is the best opportunity. The third one is behavioral and managerial or soft skills. Soft skills क्या होते हैं? Personal attributes. जैसे I'm somebody who's good in communication. There could be somebody who's good in negotiation. There are so many types of soft skills that can really enable. You're organized, you're a problem solver, you're somebody who is analytical, who looks at data and information and wants to analyze it to reach a certain point where there are insights that help decisions, right? So आपके जो softer skills हैं, जो softer elements जो आपकी personality को portray बराबर से करते हैं, right? Those are the ones that you have to pick up in behavioral skills. Outcome, impact, and value. At the end, in the summary, you have to talk about what are you working towards. As an HR person, I'm working towards creating employee experiences or enabling them in their career growth. As an IT person, maybe your objective as you start this journey is to automate a particular process. Automate, let's say IT and SCM को इकट्ठा करते हैं, ठीक है? Automation of the shop floor, or ensuring that inventory management benefits the organization by cost saving or revenue generation, right? What are you working towards? All right. So at the end of the day, what is the outcome? And we'll take examples. You don't need to worry about it. I'm going to break it down for you. But just to summarize, while making your summary statement, be clear about who you are professionally. If you all are freshers, that is all right. We'll again cover all of that. If you're somebody who has experience, and you have to highlight that also. The second one is your functional and technical skills. The third one is managerial or soft skills. And the fourth one is what kind of an outcome value that you generate through the work that you do. Okay. I hope I'm clear with the structure. I'll give you examples. Don't worry. Yes, no, quickly. Sukant, relevant experiences, job description के हिसाब से आपका जो experience है. Relevant is always going to be vis-a-vis the job description. Okay. Yes. Awesome. Should we mention if it is not relevant? Yes, you could. If there's anything that you feel that the job description has not asked for, but it is something that you're proud of and you think it will add value to your resume, you should include it. The point of me saying this is very simple, कि आपके लिए relevance को understand करके customize करना बहुत जरूरी. You need to customize your resume by understanding what they're looking for. Okay. I have worked in IT industry looking for cyber. I don't know what to do. Who you are professionally. Okay. Shahnawaz, the first point is, अगर आप एक SCM के student हो, तो you're a supply chain professional. If you're an IT student, you're an information technology professional. I'm an HR professional. Okay. But absolutely, Rishabh, internships will be added into work experience. But उन internships में जो आपकी accomplishments रही हैं, some of those things we will try and bring in the summary. All right. Can we make multiple resumes with different summaries? Absolutely, you can. If the kind of jobs that you're going to apply for are going to be so different than each other, then it makes sense to make them separately. Okay. Totally depends upon your situation. Now moving forward on examples. So first example is high achieving college student. The summary statement का example है, please ध्यान से सुनो. High achieving college student with an aptitude for marketing, copywriting, and brand management. Experienced in building advertising campaigns, accomplishment आ गया. Experience in building advertising campaigns through student organizations. Excited to work for an advertising agency and gain real world experiences. Right? You saw what happened here. The person has highlighted who is he. Currently, he's a high achieving college student. What are his soft skills and technical skills? Marketing skills बता दिया, copywriting बता दिया, brand management बता दिया. High achieving में soft skills बता दिया. Experience बता दिया through, so he's given a trailer that this fellow has done advertising campaigns. And he's completely transparent. He's done it through student organizations. And then because he's a fresher, he shared a little bit of intention. Objective wala angle aa gaya thoda sa, that as I go ahead in my career, I'm looking to gain real world experiences, right? Clear? Simple है, simple वाला example दिया ना मैंने अभी. Yes, no. Before we move forward. Okay. Now, second example. I'm going to share 3 examples and you'll get very clear by the end of these 3 examples, I'm pretty sure. Recent finance graduate with specialization in personal finance and economics. Who is he? He's a finance graduate. There is no confusion who he is. He's a recent finance graduate. Eager to help families plan for their futures and develop budgets that work for them. What is the impact or the outcome wala angle? He wants to help families plan for their future. Now, if this resume is going to an organization that works in this space, they will automatically want to read further, right? Highly skilled in Microsoft Excel, QuickBooks and Mint. Because he was clear, उसने देख लिया है JD में, that they want somebody who knows Excel. Now this fellow is a finance guy, उसको Excel लिखने का कोई मतलब नहीं है. वो क्यों लिख रहा है? Because उसको पता है company मांग रही है. The company is looking for this, so it makes sense to talk about it. If again, I'm repeating myself, if it is your strength, talk about it. If something you have not done in your life, you can't talk about it, you have no idea about it, please do not fake information in your resume. You will get stuck in your interview. All right. So Kant, you're right. I'm talking about the technicality of it. He could have spoken about certain financial models, but he spoke about Excel, right? So technicality की बात कर रही हूँ कि you don't need to portray everything, but you have to find out the relevant things. Sorry. Yeah. The last one is computer science graduate, comma डालना जरूर. Computer science graduate, passionate about data engineering and machine learning. Highly capable leader, having led multiple senior class projects to completion. Proficient in range of modern technologies, including Python, Java, and Scala. Who is he? He is a computer science graduate. What are his soft skills? He's a leader. He's highlighted here. Does he have examples to talk about his leadership skills? ये work experience में पता चलेगा या interview में पता चलेगा. अगर उसके पास evidence नहीं है, if you do not have evidence of your leadership skills, please do not write about your leadership skills here. If I do not have experience in Python or technically working on Power BI, just because I know about it, I cannot write in my resume. I will fall flat when the interviewer asks me, tell me about a project. When have you displayed this? Right? So be factual. So who is he? Computer science graduate, passionate about data engineering and machine learning. So intent, soft skills, high capability leader, technical knowledge, Python, Java, Scala, right? Very clear summary and gives an indication के interest क्या है, experience क्या है, वो currently क्या करता है और soft skills क्या है. Am I clear? Is everybody clear on this, on the summary statement or summary section? Agar if you have certain set of skills identified, you can under this kind of a summary statement or summary
I think there is some technical issue. We are connecting with the mentor. Please wait for a few more minutes.
I'm so sorry. Last time also at the same time my network dropped, and now also at the same time. I'm terribly sorry about this. Thank you, Samir. That gives me a little bit of confidence. Okay. Okay. चलो, we'll move forward. अभी yes डाल दो ताकि मैं एक बार yes देख के मुझे satisfaction से आगे बढ़ूं. We're at 9:09, perfect time. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so now the third assignment is here for you. First वाला था analysis of job description. Second वाला था accomplishment bank. Third वाला है आपने इतने सारी रिसर्च करने के बाद अपनी प्रोफेशनल समरी ड्राफ्ट करनी. Everyone has to draft their professional summary by following the things that I've shared with you. And I'm sure if you things, it's going to be an impactful summary. Okay. So dive deeper, deep exercise karo accomplishment bank wale assignment mein. So you get more and more ideas around who you are and what you do well. All right. So now moving forward, the next section is work experience section. Now, this particular section is to detail out what you have given an indication of in the summary. Summary में आपने trailer दिखाया, right? Movie का trailer दिखा दिया, अब पूरी movie की बात आ गई है. So here you will give evidences, examples, detailed accomplishment statements will come here. अभी तक हमने accomplishment statements कहीं use नहीं किया है resume. हमने indication दिया था summary में. This is where we will put down our accomplishment statements, and I'll tell you how. So why are we making a detailed work experiences? To give evidences, to talk about the experience, the knowledge, the kind of projects you have done, the kind of results you have achieved. It helps bring focus on deliverables and not just response. So kai baar na, people who are experienced, what the mistake they make is they talk about, I am responsible for maintenance of timeline. I am responsible for maintenance of XYZ. If you're only talking about responsibility, one gets to know what you're responsible for, but not what you have done. There's a big difference, right? Everybody's understanding what I'm saying? My screen is displayed, Rohit. Can everybody see my screen? So Rohit, I think there's some setting issue with your end. So there's a huge difference between deliverables and responsibilities. And one needs to identify that and ensure that you're communicating impact. Impact kahan se aata hai? When you talk about what you have done, not just what you know. What you know is very important, but hum impact ki baat kar rahe hain, right? So impact will come when you go deeper into talking about what have you done. Okay. And so work experience may we get deeper into accomplishment statements. So now this is an example of a framework of work experience section. So under work experience section, you start with your company name. Now, company name does not have to be a company. It can be your own college. It can be your whatever volunteering you have done with a particular NGO. It can be working with, let's say, some of you have done internships, right? So whichever company you've done your internship with. So you can definitely write the name of the company, what period, 1 month, 2 months, 5 months, 10 months, whatever period you work there for. You can give a brief idea about what that company does if you want, and then talk about your position. So yahan pe you can talk about intern, you can talk about volunteer, you can talk about if you were, for example, aajkal social media projects bhi kafi hote hain. If you've done social media, if you've redesigned MIS, MIS जो टेक्निकल टर्म्स में होता है, मैनेजमेंट इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम, किसी का एक्सेल शीट को रिवाइज किया है MIS बनाने में, तो यू कैन टॉक अबाउट योर दैट यू वर अ टेक्निकल एक्सपर्ट देयर. You can talk about multiple things. What role did you play in that experience? Again, one statement to talk about what was that role about. What was the co-response? अब यहाँ पे हम responsibilities बोलेंगे, ठीक है? तो जो मैं बोल रही थी ना, responsibilities and deliverables में फर्क होता है. So under your position name, you will talk about what you were responsible for. So this person is a retail sales manager. Managed local key account team effort in revenue growth, identified opportunities for product revenue. ये सब responsibilities उसने list out की हैं. separate achievement section under the position. यहाँ पे all the accomplishments, achievements, awards, outcomes that you have achieved, you will pull out of your accomplishment bank and relevant to everything relevant to the particular role, and maybe certain additional things you will put in the achievement section. So यहाँ पे आप actual evidence दे रहे हो. So look at the example. Directly responsible for major and national accounts, carried a book of over 120 active accounts. Very, very quantifiable, very clear what he has done. Sales efforts resulted in substantial national revenue gains in 2010, exceeding the prior year by 46%. Comparative कर रहा है ना बंदा. So he is able to again talk about how did he grow the account. आपके केस में whatever you have done, you have to, if comparison helps, you can talk about the previous period and pull out the differential. If not, whatever you have done, उसके बारे में भी लिखोगे तो achievement दिख जाती है. Am I clear? Am I making sense? Yes, no. Now 108 people are dropping. Yes, yes, thank you. Thank you. So now I think everything is coming together ना. आपका initial section, summary section हो गया, अभी work experience section हो गया, right? Let's see one quick example which is relevant to your freshers particularly, not experienced people. तो आप कंपनी का नाम यहाँ पे डालोगे, ठीक है? कब से कब तक काम किया है वो डालोगे. Which location, अगर जरूरत है तो you can give a description. Intern is your position. Maintained inventory, supplies and equipment to ensure products are available. Possible, right? In your internship period, you're supposed to look at ensures assisting somebody who may be assisting somebody. पर सिर्फ assistance के बारे में बात नहीं करना. आपने उस assistance में किया क्या? When you were assisting the inventory manager, what did you do in that situation is what has to be written. Achievement was collaborated with 50 plus volunteers to provide operational support. Maintain the safety and health of all animals by following extensive care plans. Okay. Getting me? What did you do in that situation is what the objective of achievements is. So achievement bank को यहाँ पे use करना है. Your next assignment is draft your professional experience. I think अब मुझे elaborate करने की जरूरत नहीं है, right? Making sense? Now moving forward to other sections. अब आ जाता है all the other sections. Ma'am, but they don't select because of fresher. Rishabh, it's all about applying to the right job, ensuring that you portray what you know. Many a times we feel we have everything in our resume, but just after this session, एक बार अपना resume पढ़ो vis-a-vis the job description. कुछ ना कुछ insights आपको आएंगे. This I guarantee you. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता कि आपका job description अगर hiring manager के perspective से आप देखोगे, it's perfect. ठीक है? I'm sure. I can't really answer more than this right now, but packaging is important. So now the next important section is qualification. This is all simple. We're going to breeze through all of this. Okay. Qualification section, you have to start with your highest level of qualification and then move down. So if you're a bachelor, you talk about bachelor. If you're a post-graduation student or you've done post-graduation, you start with post-graduation. Start with your highest level of education. Talk about which dates, it's optional. Then in pursuing something right now, you can talk about pursuing or due to be completed by. Semester or hours or percentages. If you want to talk about it, I would suggest if they're good enough, do mention your percentages. Okay. But you getting me? Start with your highest qualification and then move down. Okay. How can we mention all of these in one page? सब कुछ हो जाता है. Don't worry, Shivansh. It's not so much because I'm taking so much time to explain everything in detail. You're thinking it is too much. जब आप एक एलिमेंट को सेपरेटली तभी मैंने असाइनमेंट 1, असाइनमेंट 2, असाइनमेंट 3 में सेग्रीगेट क्यों किया है ताकि pick one element, do it, then move forward. All right. You don't have to submit anything to me, Sakshi. You have to work on your own and put it in the link that Harsh has shared in the online tool ताकि आपका रेज्यूमे बन के आ जाएगा आराम से. आपको ज्यादा उसमें फॉर्मेट वगैरह के बारे में टेंशन नहीं लेना. ठीक है. पर ये कंटेंट आपने बनाना है. कोई कंटेंट आपका है, वो कंटेंट आपके पास से ही आएगा. ठीक है. So after qualifications, you move to professional development. You're doing a course right now. You can talk about this course. You can talk about any additional trainings, any certifications you have done over and above this course. You can talk about all of that. So let's quickly see an example. This is a high-level example, but just cut it. MBA in Human Resources with ABC University, 2010. Currently pursuing an MBA in Finance through ABC University. Graduation anticipated in May 22. MBA in Human Resources from, it's just simple, date hata diya, right? This is another example. If I'm doing PG from distance, you have to mention distance. You do have to mention distance. But you can start with writing the name of the course that you're doing, from which university. You don't have to write down part-time, full-time, as far as I know, in the resume. But if they ask you, you have to say, yes, it is part-time. Then you can't fake it. Okay. In the resume, if you skip it, it's all right. Professional development, आगे जो भी certification आपने किए हैं, Six Sigma, leadership development, negotiation, SCM का course आप कर रहे हो, IT का कोई risk management का course कर रहे हो, all of that you have to mention. Okay. Now, clear with qualifications and professional development. तो ये important चीजें आपने डाल दी. Then उसके अलावा जो भी technical आपके skills हैं, जो भी domain के आप हो, अगर आपका जो भी engineering domain है या आपका IT domain है, जो भी domain के, which languages do you know, which operating systems have you worked on, which equipment, supply chain वाले automation में project करते हैं, which particular tool are you more used to. My voice is not clear now. Is my voice clear to everyone? Okay, so one off. Okay, Ravi, just check your audio. Yeah. So ensure that you have a separate technical section if you have technical certifications. Okay. You can position it also under the summary, especially IT guys can position it under summary because it is an important part of your job. Okay. Non-technical people can list it under education. Okay. So technical skills के ऊपर I have also covered, and then there is additional information. Now, इसमें आपको जो भी awards, I would say you should always include in achievements, but इसके अलावा आपको जो relevant लगता है, जो आपको डालना चाहिए, any other projects, any other presentations, any volunteering work, any affiliations with any organization जो आपको डालने से आपको लगता है आपको benefit मिलेगा, please include it. Okay? तो रेज्यूमे के अंदर आपने रेलेवेंस का तो ध्यान रखना है, लेकिन उसके अलावा आपकी जजमेंट क्या कहती है वो उसका भी ध्यान रखना है. आपके हिसाब से what else can I talk about? You should include everything. So now coming back to this one. When you look at this, we have covered this already. Yes? No? We've covered this now. You start with your name. You can center, keep it in the center, keep it on the left, keep it on the right, however. You write your mobile number, very important, because how will they contact you otherwise? Write your email address, again, very important. How will they contact you otherwise? Mention your LinkedIn URL. Again, it is an important thing in our day-to-day life. We have LinkedIn extensively used. We've spoken about summary and USP, right? Any key competencies, any technical skills, any strengths. What have you done? What is your strength? Summary mein aa jayega. We spoke about professional experience. Under professional experience, we spoke about how to highlight accomplishments because they are going to give evidences. We spoke about educational qualifications. We spoke about professional development, technical skills, and any affiliations or any additional information. Okay. So this has been covered today. So I am forgetting the name of the person, I think Rishabh or Suman, whoever was asking. This is going to fit into one page aram se. But you need to be mindful of the kind of language, the kind of content. Aapne matlab, see, my resume after 16 years of work experience is 3 page long. Because itne sari jobs kiye hain, itne sara experiences gain kiya. Aapka, especially if you are less than 1 year of experience, your resume does not need to go beyond 1 page. If it is going beyond 1 page, that means you're putting a lot of unnecessary information. Aapne important content ke upar focus karna. Okay? Write things that will get you selected. Not, oh yeah, itna lamba resume, kya likha hai pata nahi, 2 saal ka to experience nahi. These kind of reactions happen, okay? So I'm not trying to put you against a hiring manager. It's his job to look at resumes day in and day out. They have their own technique. And what I'm sharing with you is the technique to be noticed. Create that alignment. Identify what they're looking for and then begin from there. Okay. Now, as we bring the session to an end, the last 6 minutes of our session are pending. I'm going to give you a checklist. All the important things I've covered in the session today are there on this slide. Customize and tailor your resume for every job application. You don't need to make a new resume, as Tejas said. For him, it might work. For others, I would recommend आप पहले deep analysis करके एक अपना resume बनाओ. Make one resume, do enough and more work around it, and after that point, tweak it to customize it according to the organization. All right. Use relevant keywords that have been used in the job description. Do not, don't skip this point. Keywords can really create an opportunity to create that alignment. Third one, please proofread. Do not make spelling mistakes. It doesn't give a good impression if you are not focusing on the details like spellings. Fourth one, make the first page, in your case, the only page, make it count. Highlight everything relevant on the first page. Summary ka main bata chuki hu, who you are, your technical skills, your functional skills, and finally your outcomes. Ensure the STAR framework, use that framework to create your accomplishment bank. 2 to 3 page max आपके लिए apply नहीं करता, आपका एक ही page होगा. Avoid pronouns like I, me, my, are, there. Use neutral language. Every example I've shared today has had neutral language, right? Maintains XYZ. I maintained kahin nahi likha tha maine. Ensure that is there. All right. Spell out terms. Do not use abbreviations. Short forms mat likho. Aapko samajh mein aa raha hai short forms. Shayad se the technical expert in the company may understand short form. The hiring manager may not be a technical guy. He may not understand the short form. So ensure you write full forms. Do not leave it to the interpretation of the reader. These are important things I'm telling you. These are very silly mistakes that often do not end up getting addressed by you, and then they come and trouble you later. You don't even come to know your resume is getting rejected because of some of these silly mistakes. Always send a PDF to ensure that the format of your resume is perfect. Now, आपका जो resume आपके tool से निकलेगा most probably will be a PDF. Even if it is not, convert it into a PDF, otherwise your formatting will go off. All right. So this is what I had to share. I am done with my resume sharing. Now, what questions do you guys have? I'm happy to answer questions now. Okay, my chat box is open. Thank you so much for patiently listening. I had a lot to share, but everything I've shared, I've simplified. That is why it is long. Okay. आपको एक-एक चीज को बैठ के सोच समझ के करना है. I wanted to make it very simple for you. That's why every example has been customized to you guys. So there is a mix of people, experienced and freshers, but I really wanted you all to sit down and understand what I'm sharing. खाली हवा में बात नहीं करनी थी. Ma'am, that's up to. I think you'll get a recording, Tahir. Fresher student, but my resume not selected by many companies. So, at this point of time, what has happened, I can't talk about it, but you need to talk about, you need to look at the future, apply the principles I've shared with you. Okay. Really sit down and apply them. I think you'll get some answers. Your probability of your resume showcasing your true skills and your strengths will go up. Okay. See, any resume example that I share will not be relevant, Mahadev Swami. I'm sorry, your name. It won't be relevant because there are multiple types of people here, na? अगर मैं अपना भी resume आपको दिखा दूंगी तो again it won't be relevant. I don't want to overwhelm you. I've simplified things into individual pieces ताकि आप लोगों को समझ में आए. Shashwat, ma'am, my strength is firefighter. Can I mention that? Ask yourself, what does firefighter mean? In what situations have I displayed the strength? If those situations are something that you can talk about in the company, make accomplishment bank ना, उस statement के ऊपर accomplishment statements बनाओ on your firefighting skill. That is what you are. Again, I am very good in, I'm a good leader. If I say I'm a good leader, when have I displayed leadership skills is very important, because whether it is the resume or the interview, I need to talk about details of when have I displayed. So आपको कहीं पे, if you have certain occasions where you've dealt with a particular task, you've taken certain action against the STAR framework, then you can talk about it, definitely. Okay, when resume, please check. Okay, which part will be more attractive or more focused? What do you mean by that? They just elaborate a little bit. Renu, freshers haven't experienced, so what should I mention in it? Renu, how much of a fresher? Again, I've given you so many ideas. You must have done certain projects in your course. You can talk about it. You may have done internships. You can talk about it. You may have participated in organizing certain cultural events or college events. You can talk about it. There are so many things, right? So आपने ढूंढना है experience क्या options. Otherwise, आप सिर्फ on the back of your education, then you are not really leveraging what you have done. तो थोड़ा dig करना पड़ेगा. Sorry, one second. Rishabh, I just made simple resume as a fresher on MBA pursuing, but when they called, asked for regular or distance, I told distance and they cut the call. So then in that case, if you have had a bad experience, Rishabh, then write distance. Because if that is their core requirement, then they're looking for a full time, right? So then फिर आप starting में distance लिखो अगर आपको बुरा experience एक बार हो चुका है. Again depends आप जिस job के लिए apply कर रहे हो उसका core requirement क्या है. अगर उसकी core requirement full time MBA है, then they will reject you. Some of them write in the job description, some of them don't write in the job description. That is a surprise factor. So rather than getting disappointed, if you feel you would be more comfortable in writing distance, then write distance. Okay, ma'am, I have made my accomplishment statement on firefighter. Great. So then start making your resume. Resume should be attractive or simple, ma'am. Content has to be the king. If your content does not have the weight, then any amount of graphical resume will not work. Okay? Which part will have more priority? Tejas, every part of what I have discussed today has priority. I haven't discussed anything that is not important. Shahnawaz, go through the course, the mentorship program. There is a tool called SWOT that I have used in that program. उस tool के अंदर आपको strengths बहुत सारे समझ में आएंगे आपके. So that is one starting point. Second starting point here is to dive into your own accomplishments of the past and ask yourself, what was my strength when I did this so well, right? That's one idea. But do that SWOT analysis and that will really help you. How can I understand? Okay, full-time in MBA distance में क्या issue है? Ashok, offline discussion. Deepak Ranjan, I have 1+ experience in design engineering and now I'm switching to SCM. So I will be experienced candidate for SCM or fresher. I think you can find you Deepak, you may need to dive deeper into relevant experience from your design career. I don't know what your job profile was, but certain skills that we learn in any job are always transferable to the new job. For example, softwares or tools or online tools, etc. ये हर किसी के job की requirement बन गया आजकल, right? So again, that's something that you can leverage. If you were working with certain stakeholders, that could be a skill that could work, right? So again, you are an experienced candidate for sure. You're not a fresher. But वो जो आपका previous experience है, उसको आपने कैसे इसमें लेके आना है? That's a journey that once you start looking into you do the entire analysis, JD analysis, go back into your personal experience of work experience, identify where have I displayed something. I think answers मिलेंगे. You are not a fresher candidate. Do not look at yourself as a fresher. But not every accomplishment you've had in your design career will be applicable in SCM. So SCM के point of view से आपको relevant content ढूंढना पड़ेगा. How good online resume templates or other templates, mentor card template? Samir, I can't answer this question. It's a difficult one. I'm not exposed to every template. Does the format of the resume matter? Absolutely. It has to be a clear format, Samir. It needs to be able to communicate the important data. The language has to be simple but impactful. The format has to be simple and clear. If it's kuch, nobody will be able to pay attention to what you're writing. Shashwat, thank you, Shashwat. Appreciate it. Any other questions I could answer? What key skills we can add in resume for fresher? Rishabh, depends upon the job description. You have to, मैं बोलूंगी communication डालो, वो job के अंदर communication की जरूरत ही नहीं है. Right? You need to analyze, you need to do the work. Thank you, Abhish. Yes. Any other questions? There were some long sentences earlier in the conversation. I'm not sure where those gentlemen maybe have left. Gentlemen have left, I think. Ma'am, we can mention college percentage. Absolutely, Devkaran, you can. Absolutely, you can. Thank you, Shivansh. Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you, Manshu. Can I put DOB and address? Is it relevant? आपका date of birth का relevance क्या है डालने का? You have to understand that. आपका address का क्या relevance है डालने का? वो आप सोचो, फिर जवाब मिल जाएगा. आपका हाँ, it is possible that your city or town, it may make sense, but पूरा address कौन सा गली, which locality, how is it helpful? It's just occupying space on the resume, right? हाँ, अगर आपको resume में ज़्यादा content नहीं मिल रहा, उसे fill up करना तो डाल दो, but it's not going to help you in any manner. Photo, again, I've told you, Shanawaz, photo, according to me, I have never put a photo because I feel it creates a bias, but nevertheless, it's an option. It's a personal choice. अगर आपके पास एक अच्छी प्रोफेशनल फोटो है, not a passport photo, a professional nice photo which showcases you in a good light in a professional manner, then you can put it on your resume. I personally avoid putting a photograph on the resume. What else? Absolutely, you can, Nitish. You can add software skills which you've learned in internships. They may enhance your entire resume because you're adding your knowledge, your experience. अगर आपको पता है JD में ये important होगा, JD के हिसाब से ये organization में इस particular job में इसकी ज़रूरत है, तो उसको आप detail out करो. What did you do in that? Ma'am, I've changed from non-IT to IT. All right. So IT करते वक्त, whatever projects you have done or whatever you have learned, you can use that to package it all into the resume. All right. Ma'am, how to improve English conversation? Read papers, newspaper पढ़ो, vocabulary को expand करो. Okay. Expand your vocabulary. Read newspapers, record yourself and listen to it. Sort of, or maybe, you can even get guides who do this. Ma'am, spoken English. I'm talking about spoken English. Yeah, I'm also spoken English because spoken English it's not just about the accent. It's a huge part is what vocabulary do you use. But ma'am, only working process I am done on SAP, but I don't know whole about it. So I should, whatever you add, no. What your chances will only go up, no? If you don't put SAP at all, then you don't know SAP. See, you have to understand, I only have your resume, right? I just have this paper in front of me that is called Nitish Pandey ka resume. And there is nothing on SAP. but maybe I want SAP. Thoda sa to dal do. What is the harm? Whatever you know, you put that. No, ma'am, I have just joined IBM with third-party payroll. Is it okay to continue? Can I mention IBM experience? You can mention IBM experience, Pratik. Absolutely, you can. Maximum, how many projects? There's no maximum minimum. Everything that is relevant, everything that is essential, you have to put. Relevance word ka meaning hi ye hai. You have to understand what will convey that you have done something well or you have experience, and you have to again showcase that. Yes. Any more questions?